Hello mamas! In today's 30-minute practice, we are going to be working on gaining clarity and gaining clarity in our truth and standing in our truth and voicing our truth. So in motherhood, this can be it can be difficult in the beginning, right? Finding what our truth is as a mother. You know, sort of second guessing ourselves, maybe having some doubts, and not really sure as well about what we want. So sort of in this process we're working through, right, we visualize, we've seen sort of how we want our lives to be, but now we have to get crystal clear on what exactly it is that we want, right? It needs to be really, really clear, because we all often say things like, yes, I want to be healthier. Yes, I want to have more energy. Yes, maybe I want to lose a few pounds. But what does that actually mean, right? How can we actually measure this? What exactly is it that we want because of this? What are we going to gain? What does having more energy mean to you? Right? What does leading a healthy lifestyle mean to you? And finding our truth can be hard, right? Because we see a lot of other people's truths, which maybe isn't their truth, right? And sometimes this can lead to sort of the issues is when we do something, not just because the masses are doing it, but because it's somebody else's truth, it's not necessarily going to align with us. So really, to find our truth and to speak our truth, we really need to get into this throat space. We really need to tap in to sort of our voice, right? This is where we communicate. So what are we saying? You know, what are we communicating to people? Is this our truth? Is this what we want? Are we saying what we want to say? So in today's class, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be opening up the throat and just tapping in a little bit to this space. See what happens in this class. See what this throat space is telling you. Is it feeling nice and open? Is it maybe feeling a little tight and constricted? And just have a little thought on that, you know? See what the body's telling you, as always. All right. So with that, we will begin. So we're going to begin with a breathing practice. We're going to interlace our fingers, and they're going to come right below the chin. And the gaze will be forward. I'll show this from a front view, and then I'll show you from the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the nose, and as we do that, the elbows are going to lift up to the sides. And then when we exhale, we're going to tilt the head back, exhale out of the mouth, so it's going to be a and we're going to bring the elbows together, so it'll look something like this. So we squeeze the palms and elbows come together. I'll show you from the side, because what we want to do is keep the spine in alignment. We don't want to be arching back. So when we inhale, gaze is forward, chin parallel to the ground. We inhale, elbows lift up, inhaling through the nose. And on the exhale, the head drops back, but keep the spine in line. The palms come together, the elbows touch as we exhale out through an open mouth. And then on the inhale, we drop the chin. Inhaling through the nose, the elbows lift up. Exhaling out through the mouth. Squeezing the palms together, elbows come forward to touch. Okay, so we're gonna do about 5 rounds of this. All right, so bringing our palms together, squeeze the palms. Let the elbows be down by the chest. Gaze forward, chin parallel to the floor. Inhale through the nose. Elbows lifting up. Exhale, wide open mouth, bringing the palms together, elbows touch, or try to touch. Inhale, drop the chin down. Elbows lifting up by the sides. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale out. Bringing the palms together, elbows towards each other. Again, inhale. Elbows lifting out and up, keeping the gaze forward and soft. Exhale out through the mouth, letting the head fall back, palms together, elbows coming towards each other. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bringing the head back down, release the hands. Let the hands just drop to the thighs. Close the eyes for a second. Just inhale and exhale out through the nose. And take the awareness to the throat. Maybe place the hands on the throat. And just notice how this space is doing. How is the throat feeling? And exhale, release the hands down to the thighs and slowly open the eyes. Excellent. So inhale, ground down through the sit bones, reach up out through the crown of the head. Exhale, dropping the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Maybe letting these left fingertips walk out to the side, create a little bit more of a stretch. And now, maybe just play with sort of letting the chin roll towards the clavicle. Or maybe letting the head slightly roll back, begin to stretch the front side of the throat. And just make this your own. Close the eyes, maybe making gentle movements. Noticing if you're feeling any tightness, any tenderness. Taking the breath there with awareness. Exhaling away tension. Next, inhale, lifting the head, come back to center. Lengthen through the spine, and exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. But keep the shoulder relaxed. Don't bring the shoulder up towards the ear, so just let the head sort of fall. If you want a little bit more, maybe you walk the right fingertips out to the side. And you can just gently let the chin roll down. Maybe let that ear roll back. And just closing the eyes. Making the subtle movements within your body. Let the body and the breath guide you. Noticing if you're feeling any tension, tightness. Any difference between this side and the other. Doing this for one more breath. And then inhale, coming up to center. Okay, now we're going to do neck rolls. So choose whatever direction you want to start in. And you're just going to bring the chin down to one side. Let it come across the front. Let the ear come down towards the shoulder. And if it feels okay, you can let the head roll back and around. If it doesn't, just bring the head across center, okay? Listen to your body. Closing the eyes. And doing this as fast or as slow as feels good. If you're feeling some tightness and tension and you want to hold somewhere, maybe give yourself a little pressure massage. You can put your fingers up to the neck. Just really moving nice and slow. Noticing if you have any tension, tightness. Then maybe reversing directions. Not maybe, definitely reversing directions. We want to balance things out. You go one way, you make sure you go the other. Just noticing the sensations. Noticing what comes up as we open through the neck, through the throat. And after finishing this round, gently coming back to center. Excellent. We're going to roll on, coming onto hands and knees for cat-cow. So bring the knees hip width apart below the hips, wrists below the shoulders, fingertips spread wide, active into the neck. Active, pressing actively into the mat. On the inhale, pelvis tilts forward, belly drops, chest comes through, and really overextend, lift the gaze, so really open the throat and the neck. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the navel to the spine, chin to chest, really bring that chin to chest to work on closing the neck, and the crown comes to the floor, cat pose. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, belly drops, chest comes through, bringing the gaze forward and up, extend through the throat, opening the throat. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone, navel to spine. Really pull that chin to the chest and focus on the throat constriction. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, let the belly drop, chest comes through. Bring the gaze forward and up as we open the throat. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, navel to spine, chin to chest, work on that constriction. Take a couple of rounds, following your breath and body, but really with the awareness in this movement of what is happening in the throat and neck area, what is happening into that space. And after the second round, inhaling, coming back to neutral spine tabletop. Let the knees come wide, let the toes come towards each other, and let the hips fall back, coming into our child's pose. So let the palms reach forward, let the forehead come down to the mat. If the forehead can't reach, feel free to grab a blanket, a block, a pillow, anything to give yourself a little bit of extra height. And so you can just let the forehead melt. Inhale, moving the breath now into the back, into the kidneys, feeling the back expand up and out. Exhale, softening down into the hips. Inhale, moving the breath into the back, expanding. Exhale, softening as the hips lower just a bit more to the heels. Taking one more breath. Next, inhale, coming back up onto hands and knees, moving the knees back under the hips, tops of the feet to the floor. From here, we're going to go into puppy pose. So hips stay over the knees. We're going to begin to walk the hands out forward and melting through the heart, and just rest and let the forehead come to the ground. So once again here, inhale, let the breath move into the back side of the body, and with the exhale, softening down through the shoulders, through the heart. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, softening down. Next inhale, pressing up into the hands, walking the hands back in. Taking one cat-cow, just follow your breath. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. All right, we're going to do that puppy pose one more time. Coming back into our tabletop, this time walking our hands out. And as the shoulders and heart are a little bit open, maybe this time we can bring the chin down and gaze forward. If this is too much, let the forehead rest as before. Just following the breath. And just think of softening and opening through the shoulders, through the heart, through the throat. Trying to stay relaxed in the thighs, just having them there supporting. Softening through the front side of the body. One more breath here. Good. Lifting back up, slowly moving the hands in. Under the shoulders. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. Lift the hips up, coming into a downward facing dog. Let the knees be bent. Really ground down through the fingertips. Press through all of the fingertips. Bring the shoulders on the back. Melt the heart. And then just begin to walk the dog, slowly lowering one heel at a time, maybe letting the hips wag side to side. Bending both knees, really reach the sit bones up towards the sky. Maybe from there we begin to lengthen. If the hamstrings are tight, keep the knees nice and bent. Then walking the feet forward to meet the hands. Keep a nice bend into the legs, grabbing onto the elbows, let the body hang. Maybe let the body go side to side. Coming back to center, grounding down through the four corners of both feet slowly. Inhale, slowly rolling the spine up one vertebrae at a time, releasing the elbows. Inhale, let the arms reach out and up, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Look up, bring the palms together. And exhale, hands coming down through heart center. Good. Moving to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart, coming into our mountain pose. So grounding down through the four corners of the feet, activating the muscle, hugging onto the bone. Using those lower level core set muscles, pulling in and up. Let the heart lift towards the sky. Press up through the crown of the head. As you press down into the ground, feel the spine lengthening, reaching upwards. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Fingers shooting up towards the sky. Maybe look up. Extended mountain. Exhale, hips come back. Swan dive forward, leading with the chest. Bend the knees if you need. And let the crown of the head come to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins. Bring the gaze forward. Halfway lift. Exhaling, fold, hands come down, stepping our right foot back into lunge. Dropping the hands down, left foot back into plank. Exhaling, lower knees, chest, chin, keep the elbows in by the rib cage, inchworm. Tops of the feet to the floor, belly slides through, roll the shoulders up and back, baby cobra. Hold here. Let the gaze be forward. Bring the hands out to the side so you're on your fingertips and elbows lift up. So on the exhale, reach forward with the heart and let the forehead come down. Inhale, reach the spine long as we lift up through the spine. Exhale, wave the spine down. Inhale. Reaching forward and up with the heart. Let the gaze lift, open the throat. Exhale, roll the spine down. Keep the tops of the feet into the mat and the tailbone tucked, so pubic bone is coming into the mat as you do this to support the lower spine. Inhale, rolling the shoulders back. Lengthening through the spine, gaze up. Exhale, lowering down. One more time, here we go. Inhale, rolling the spine up. Last thing to come up and back is the neck. And exhale, lower down. Let the hands move back in, down by the rib cage. So elbows are over the wrists. Next, inhale, press back to the knees. Bring the toes together, let the knees come out, and just come into a child's pose for a breath or two. Inhale, moving the breath into the back, feel it expanding. Exhaling, softening down into the hips. Next, inhale, coming back up onto hands and knees. Bring the knees in, under the hips, tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the hips up, melt the heart, down dog. We're going to bring that right foot through. So either option one, dropping to the knees, bring that right foot through, or stepping the right foot through and coming into lunge. Lift the left knee. Exhaling, left foot forward, dropping the crown to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, grounding down through both feet, arms reaching out and up, shoulders relaxed, look up, bring the palms together. And exhaling, hands down to heart center. Other side, moving back to the tops of our mat if we need to. Coming into our mountain pose, grounding down, four corners of the feet, wrap the thighs, core, chest, crown. Inhale, arms reach out and up, look up, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the chest, crown to floor, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, gaze forward, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold, hands come down, stepping that left foot back into lunge, dropping the hands, right foot back, coming into plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest chain, down on the mat, inchworm. Inhale, tops of the feet to the floor, belly slides through, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. This time, bring the elbow down under the shoulder. Elbow under the shoulder, palm facing forward, fingertips spread wide. Sphinx pose. So feet are apart, toes, legs don't have to be together. Feet can be slightly apart. So you can tuck the tailbone, feeling that pubic bone really pressing into the mat to help create space for the lumbar section. And what we're going to do with these hands is keep the gaze forward and pull back. Use that arm strength. So the arms aren't going anywhere, but we're activating the arms. Press the fingertips into the mat as you pull with the hands, bringing the scapulas down on the spine, opening through the front of the chest, opening through the throat. One more breath here. Good. Exhale, releasing the hands, maybe making a pillow, one hand on top. You can relax the forehead down, relax the glutes, relax the legs, and just shake the hips into the floor. All right, we're going to come up again into Sphinx. So bringing those elbows directly under the shoulders, widening the fingertips, letting them ground down, pulling the shoulders back and down away from the ears, pulling back, activating the arms, grounding, leaving the tops of the legs pressing into the mat, tucking the tailbone so pubic bone is grounding into the floor. Option one, staying here in Sphinx. Option two, maybe you begin to straighten the arms. Let the gaze be forward, let the throat open. Keeping these shoulders open. If that's too much, staying here. Finding where you're at, breathing for one more breath. Exhale, lowering back down. Making your pillow again, opposite hand on top this time. Drop the forehead. Release the lower part of the body. Release the glutes, the legs. Wiggle the hips. Bringing the wrists back under the elbows. Grounding down. Exhale, press back to the knees. Bring the knees wide. Let the toes come together. Coming into child's pose. Inhale, moving the breath into the back, letting it expand. Exhaling, softening. Inhale, coming back onto hands and knees. Bring those knees in under the hips, fingertips spread, tuck the toes, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. One breath here. Then bringing that left foot forward, either stepping it through or coming back down to the knees, left foot in between the hands, and lifting the right knee up, coming into lunge. Next exhale, right foot forward, crown to floor fold. Grounding down through both feet. Inhale, arms reaching out and up, using the core to support the lift. Look up, palms touch. Exhaling, hands to heart. Closing the eyes for a moment. Just checking in. Noticing how you feel. Releasing the hands down. Shake it out. And coming down to the floor. Good. So first pose we're going to do is Dandasana, or staff pose. So as always, if sitting with legs straight, if you're feeling a little rounded, as if you're sitting like this and hamstrings are tight, take a blanket, take a pillow, put something under those sit bones to just help elevate the hips and sort of tilt that pelvis forward. So take a moment to do that if you need so. Otherwise, remove the flesh out from below the sit bones. Really let those sit bones ground and flex the toes back. Okay, my feet are pretty clean. All right, so really ground down through the sit bones. Flex those toes back and reach the hands down towards the ground. Now remember when we did the body proportions, some hands are going to touch the ground, others won't. My hands don't touch, but I'm still going to act like I'm pressing the hands into the ground. This is a very active pose. So we're activating the legs, the muscle is hugging in, we're activating our core, we're reaching down through the hands as if we're pressing into the floor. You might be actually pressing down. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest. Let the gaze be soft down. And breathe here for 5 breaths. Keeping the body active, keeping that throat constricted, keeping that chin as close to the chest as we can. Holding here for 1 more breath. Good. Lifting the gaze. Now from here, you're going to bend the knees up, let the feet be hip width apart, and check to see what feels good for your arms. So fingertips will either be facing forward with the thumbs on the inside, or you can move the wrists around where fingertips are facing backwards, pinkies to the inside. So find what feels good for you. I like to do with fingers forward. We want the wrists still under the shoulders. Feet are hip width apart. On the inhale, we're going to ground down into the hands, into the feet. We're going to lift the hips up. You can let the gaze be down the belly, down the thighs. So if you're just like this, but if you can lift those hips up in alignment, let the head fall back. If this feels good, if this does not feel good, don't do it. Keep the head here. Breathe. 5 breaths. Keep grounding down through the feet, especially the inner heel, the inner sole. Lift the inner thighs, lift the hips up. Breathe. 1 more breath. And next, exhale slowly, lowering down. Good. Let the legs go back out long. Maybe doing some wrist circles if that feels good. Bringing the feet now together, letting the knees fall out wide for cobbler's pose, butterfly. Maybe we begin with our hands behind the back. So really pressing the feet into each other. Inhale, lift through the chest, lift through the shoulders, opening. On the exhale, softening down through the hips. See if you can lower the thighs, maybe just without even putting any pressure with the arms, just with your awareness. Maybe this is enough for you here. Maybe you bring the hands to the front, you can grab onto the feet. Inhale, keep a nice length through the spine. Then on the exhale, maybe you begin to tilt in the pelvis. Maybe pelvis begins. We don't want to round, we want tilting. Maybe the elbows gently come into the thighs. And then last, we can tuck the chin to the chest. Really just moving the breath through the back side of the body with the inhales. And softening down through the hips, the inner thighs with the exhales. One more breath here. Next inhale, releasing the chin from the chest, lifting back up, using those hands to lift the knees back up. And we'll slowly come down onto our backs. So walking the heels into the bum as close as possible. Keep the feet hip width apart. Now we're going to tuck the tailbone. So feel the lower spine connect to the mat. You want to feel the whole length of the spine on the floor. And then we're going to ground down through the four corners of the feet, lift the hips up. Don't let the knees fall out. So imagine we're squeezing our imaginary block or imaginary ball in between the knees, inner thighs. Maybe we can roll the shoulders under the back and interlace the hands. If not, just let the hands be palm facing down. Otherwise, hands interlace. Ground down into the mat. Lift the hips up. Let the chest come to the chin. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath here. Exhale, letting the arms roll out. Slowly rolling the spine down. Taking a breath here. Now we're going to do a second round. So second round, if you have shoulder stand in your practice, you're going to come into shoulder stand. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say shoulder stand, you're going to do another round of bridge. So preparing, we'll all come in. If you come into shoulder stand, I want you to try to come into it from bridge. So everyone begin by tucking the tailbone, let the lower spine come onto the back. Let the lower spine connect with the mat. When you're ready, ground down through the feet, push the hips up towards the sky. Squeezing that imaginary block, so don't let the knees fall out. Bringing the shoulders down and under. Maybe you can interlace the fingers. So for anybody without shoulder stand practice, you're gonna hold here as long as you can and then lower to the mat whenever you need. Shoulder stand, wiggle those elbows and hands under the back. Wiggle those hands and elbows under the back. Maybe you lift up onto the toes. And begin to lift and straighten the legs, keeping the gaze, point the toes, let the legs be strong. Breathing here for 10 breaths. If you're in shoulder stand, making sure not to move the head. Do not look left or right. Keep the gaze right at the toes. If you need to look around, you come out of the pose first. If you're in bridge and have come out and you want to really give it a go, go for a third round. Otherwise, let the body relax and release on the floor. One more breath here. Okay, wherever you are, bridge or shoulder, you can let the arms down to the mat and slowly lowering the hips. Letting the legs come down nice and long, nice and straight. We're gonna come into fish pose. So everybody, palms facing down, bring them under the bum. Thumbs might touch. Bring the shoulders back down on the back. Once again, pressing down into the elbows. Lifting, let the top of the head come down to the mat. Gaze back towards the top of the mat. Let the eyes roll back. Keep them open, lifting up through the chest, opening that throat. Pointing the toes down towards the mat. Breathing here, 5 breaths. After the next exhale, gently releasing, letting the back of the head connect with the mat. Slowly releasing the arms. Letting the arms come out to the sides now, palms facing up. Let the legs separate, toes fall out, heels roll in. Just closing the eyes. Letting the gaze turn inwards. So letting go of your physical practice now. Letting go of the breath. Letting go of your efforts. And finding stillness here in your final resting pose, Shavasana, for 5 minutes or more, if time allows. And coming out whenever you are ready. So thank you for practicing with me today. I look forward to practicing with you again real soon. Namaste.